Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing about as well as could be expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like par then.
Yeah, at least par. Actually,
Okay.
It's been a good week. It's been a good
Hey,
week. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. It's actually been a really good week for me too. I'm feeling pretty psyched about how work is going. I'm getting better at controlling my anxiety response to news updates.
Yeah.
So I've been like limiting them mostly and then like kind of just engaging with it when I'm feeling up for it. I'm just getting better at like, okay, that's disturbing, but it doesn't help me to be disturbed for the next couple hours. So let me kind of try to process this in a slightly more detached way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we collectively all had to go through kind of a desensitization process.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there are alarming numbers being thrown around and projections and all the things that we've been hearing, for weeks now. And it's like shocking to hear at first. And then it's like, okay, I mean, we're at the point where, there's very little that any of us can do aside from the things that's ingrained in our brains now of best practices to do during this time. And that's about it, So yeah, I feel a little bit desensitized, but like more able to mentally manage it, I guess.
It's like humans are pretty good at adapting to new situations. Like sometimes the world just changes like crazy and you have to live in a new reality. But I think we're good at that. And so I think some of it is like I've been getting better at managing my own mental state. And some of it is just like your brain, I think, eventually stops reacting quite the same to the same or similar stimulus, which is probably a really useful adaptation.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
So, well, you want to talk about work instead?
Yeah, let's do that.
Great.
So I'm working on this this cool new project right now. You may have heard of it.
Okay, yeah, try me.
It's called Tuple, and it's this remote pair programming app.
Whoa. Tell me more. This is surprising. What could this be?
About a week ago, my buddy Ben, you may know him, reached out and was like, hey, we have this project, and we've been looking for someone to do it, and I think you might be a perfect fit for it. And so...
Wow, that sounds really flattering.
Yeah, I was super flattered. Generally, my stock response to these types of questions is no. I need to focus on my own stuff, and not in the consulting business right now. But when you sent the message, it just felt like timing was kind of perfect for me. Where I'm exploring some different stuff. I'm working on some prototypes of things, and like things are moving forward on that front. But also like, nobody knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks or months or days even. And, here's an opportunity to have a meaningful impact on a really cool product that is especially important right now in light of what's happening in the world. It's been actually a really, really fun side gig for me this past week. I mean, only one week into it, but getting to kind of exercise my design skills and front-end development stuff that I've been honing for the last few years, and getting to be creative on something that's separate from my own pursuits that I've been working on exclusively for a couple of years. So it's going well, I will say, from my point of view.
So we should probably clarify that I asked you if you would be interested in redesigning the application, giving it a refresh. I'm glad we're talking about this here because I am having so much fun seeing the stuff you're coming up with. And we're going to have to invoke the Canadian rule, which states that within the first 10 minutes of any Art of Product podcast, we mention either Adam Wathan or Steve Sugar. So I was talking to Adam about like hiring a designer or getting some design help. And he was the one who was like, you should just hire Derrick, LOL. And I was like, haha, actually, wait a second. As I thought about it, I was like, there's a chance he might be interested in like at least possibly like some of this. And so I wrote that email to you and you said yes. And I was super psyched. I figured the chances were like, I don't know, I was given like maybe 50-50. And I was super, super excited when you said you were available. So this is the skill we lack the most on our team right now, I think, is like just this like solid like design and also implement the design combination, which is incredibly hard to find. Like there's just like no one can do what you do, which is be a developer and a designer. Like that's just incredibly, incredibly rare. So to be able to like get design help, but then also like have you build the React app version of it is just like, that's crazy valuable. But then also just taste is rare. Like there's not a lot of people who I would like trust to like understand the constraints and come up with savvy solutions and have it make sense. It's just all these things together are not easy to come by. So when I thought about it, it's like you're kind of the perfect person for this project.
Well, and I'm very flattered that Adam recommended me too, because I highly respect the creator of Tailwind, the man who is teaching all developers how to get even a little bit better at design these days.
He's actually just sort of an internet marketer, I think is the way he prefers to be described.
Yeah, right.
This has been awesome. You've been sharing not even just mockups, but actually like working React app versions of the redesign. And every time I refresh the page and there's some new stuff there, it's like, oh yeah. And it just keeps getting better. And I'm super into it.
It's been super fun. So when we started this out, like I was trying to figure out what the right angle for kind of producing work would be. And I mean, a lot of designers kind of go into Figma or Sketch and start with maybe they start with low fidelity mockups, right? Where it's just kind of sketched, or using something like Balsamic or something like that, where it's really wireframey. And then often the next step is to go into a high fidelity design tool and kind of replicate what you could do in the browser in non-HTML format. I'm guessing that's usually because maybe they're faster in it. Maybe they don't know HTML. I don't know, why that's the typical path for a lot of designers, but it usually is. And for me, I love getting into kind of the final medium as quickly as possible. Like I'm most comfortable in the browser, and major props to Adam for building such a fantastic tool. But like Tailwind makes me so productive. It just feels like the perfect power tool for when I'm in the zone thinking about building a design and I want to change padding a little bit. You just throw another utility on, and it's like, oh, font size needs to be a little smaller. Just bump it down to a new text utility. And like, I feel so productive working with this stack. And then React I've been building in React for about a year now on various projects. Static Kit is kind of a React front end. And so, getting to build in React and extract out components where necessary. And then, if I want to build 3 different permutations of a state, it's like, well, there's 3 shared parts on this, and I can extract that into a component and reuse stuff. And it's been really fun working with the tools, because it feels like I'm not fighting against the tools, I guess. And that's often rare, even when you're in a tool set that you really like. Like a lot of times there's just a slog involved with it of getting things to produce the end result that you want, and this hasn't felt like a slog at all. And so
nice. That's awesome.
I think it's just a combination of experience with the tools and then just having really, really good tools at my disposal.
Yeah, I mean, the productivity shows, because we started this on Monday, and there's substantial work done here for sure. You just sort of put together a little like a way of displaying the work that is like React apps embedded into a page in different states with different scenarios going on. And I actually shared this with a designer friend of mine, and he was like, oh, this is a really cool like design mock-up sharing tool. And I was like, guess what? That's actually basically just the app. So I was just like, oh, he's even finding a good way to show it to us. It's just great working with someone savvy.
Yeah. No, it's been really fun. Like it's implemented in HTML and React and CSS and all the web stack, but it's constrained to a kind of a fixed size window too, which also is just one less thing to worry about. Normally with web design, you're worrying about all the responsive breakpoints. And this is like, it's kind of nice not to think about those for a little bit on this project.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. No one will ever resize this window.
Yep.
Only you can do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's great having your help.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to update on for the week, or should I take the baton?
I mean, that's kind of the bulk of what I've been focusing on. I mean, when we talked about this, we're like, okay, maybe we'll do around 10 hours a week. And if I'm being honest, like I've cruised over that limit just because it's been so fun working on this stuff. And so it's kind of dominated most of my time. But I did notice, like, even just having kind of the constraints of like, okay, I'm not just dealing with my own time here. Now it's like I'm working on this project, and I am billing hourly for it. So like So like when I'm working on Tuple stuff, like let's be deliberate. Let's block off this time and try to make this as distraction free as possible. And so it's just been like another reason to kind of to be more deliberate, I guess, because it's when you're just dealing with your own time, then it's really easy to let stuff leak in and you're like, well, whatever, it's my own time, who cares? I want to limit my time because I'm not like just letting this be like 40 hours a week and not working on any of my own stuff. So I'm trying to like really proactively time box this, and so I started doing that with my Tuple time, and then I was doing that with some of my own project time, and like the symmetry there is really nice, and I feel like I've been, I don't know, it's just been a really good like forcing function to get me to just think a little bit more intently about how I'm managing time. So
nice. That's great.
A nice side effect. Yeah.
Sometimes those constraints are just awesome. They help. From my perspective, this is so good. Like you started working on this, Don started working with Spencer, and then there's actually one other person that I'll talk about soon. But like there's more hands like rowing the Tuple boat all of a sudden. And it feels so good. Like our pace is up a lot. Like I would say like actually Joel and Spencer and I are all shipping things faster than before. And then there are additional people shipping things. It's a very good time right now, I feel like.
Yeah, that's cool because I mean, I know I experienced this at Drip a little bit. I mean, we brought on junior developers initially, so there was a little bit different. Like we weren't able to hire senior level experienced people right out of the gate, but still I think you experience this in most cases when you hire someone. Like you want to reach the point where like you're doubling your productivity, but there's always kind of a dip right at first where it's like the team expands, but now there's more communication overhead and there's more training, getting people up to speed, so things can kind of dip down. And it's a really good feeling when it's like people are up to speed and now we're actually like cranking out more than we were before.
Yeah, right? Totally. And the fact that you know what you're doing so well, and that Don has a lot of experience, and Spencer also invested a ton of effort to like get him onboarded before, like give him this resources so he could speed himself up, I think has paid off nicely. The fact that we're pushing forward on multiple threads simultaneously feels great.
Yes.
Because sometimes before it would be like we're basically doing 2 or maybe 3 things at once, and now it feels like there's even more things that are moving forward, which is great. So we've been working with a part-time salesperson. The other day I had this experience where I more or less assigned him a lead in Help Scout that came in and like was like, wow, someone else is pushing the sales thing forward while I do this thing. It's the things where it's like intellectually I knew that was a possibility. I knew that's how companies do more things. But then the experience of like, wow, there's other stuff going on that we're not doing. This is amazing. Was like, it hit me stronger than I thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's really cool. And how long has this part-time salesperson been working with you?
Since basically Monday. So,
okay.
So 3 part-time people started on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So this person, his name is Adam Zace, and he was referred by my friend Brendan. And he has a bunch of experience in like the sort of chaotic startup time of sales, which is kind of what we eventually figured out is like, or at least I figured out is like, I think that's what we need, not like someone to slot into a process with like a defined title and a, clear way of doing it. It's been interesting to like start throwing things his way. And also like I had him join a call that I was on with somebody the other day. And there were just a couple things that he did that I thought were really savvy. So you could just tell, like, this is someone that has been doing sales a long time. So like, we're talking to this person. They're like, well, we want to try it with 3 people. And if that goes well, we're going to do it to this many people. And then if that goes well. And Adam stops like, well, can you say more about like what success looks like there? Like what does it look like for the 3 people to like have a good experience? And I was like, oh, duh, that's such a good question. It's like, there's a test. Why don't you find out what you're being graded on? And like, it didn't really occur to me to ask that.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, cool. Well, I hope it goes well, but like, I don't know what they define as well. And then there was 2 other things, which is one, and they were like, oh, and if this test goes well, we'll ask security to review your application and then approve it. And Adam was like, any chance it would make sense to just have security look at it now? And that way, if you like it, we could just keep going or like roll it out without stopping. And he's like, oh yeah, let's do that. And I was like, oh my God, how did I not think of that? Like, duh, do it in parallel. Like, why would you wait and then insert this blocker later on in the process?
Yeah.
So that was like a head slapper for me personally. And then the final thing was just like this trick that I think is not trick, but just a habit, which is the person would say something And Adam would go, so what I think I heard you say is, and re-summarize this thing back to them to make sure like the communication happened correctly, which I think is like, I think that idea is like good to bring into a lot of parts of your life, because verbal communication in particular is just a little bit, it's possible for people to not understand each other and think they do.
Totally. Yep. Wow. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it sounds like he's a seasoned veteran who also, I think it's unique to find someone who is kind of willing to slot into this type of scenario, because I mean, salespeople who are good at what they do can often get kind of a cushy like enterprise sales gig and make tons of commission, and like a lot of times they're not accessible, I feel like at this kind of tier of the game. So
yeah. And in classic fashion, he sold himself to me pretty well, which is he was like, let's start super informal and like whatever level you want, like, you can give me some stuff or don't, or just, and I was like, that is actually what I want right now. Like let's try things out. Let's slowly ramp up, and he made it easy to get started. The team didn't double, but it kind of did in terms of bodies, in terms of humans. So that's kind of a big step forward this week. And just also like so much knowledge came with it. Like you on the design and the UX side, and then Adam on the sales side, and then Don on the like C++ Mac internal side. Like it's just like the amount of smarts we have access to and experience is up so much. It feels like we're building a real thing now.
Yeah. So last week, the Tuple guys were on, and I could sense a little bit in Spencer's voice that he was feeling the pressure of being the main guy on this really, really technical code base, and maybe feeling a little bit burned out. Do you think this is going to help ease the tension on him a little bit, having some more support around him?
I think so. That is definitely the goal, or definitely one of the goals. I feel like his affect is better. He seems more excited about it. We'll see if it actually gives that feeling of, okay, there's other people helping me. I feel less burnt out. And that's something that I definitely need to check in with him. I actually have a recurring to do, which is like check in on Spencer's burnout level, make sure he's good. He's a hard worker, and he holds himself to a very high standard. And so that's amazing most of the time, but it is possible to like push yourself too hard that way. So I try to like be a little bit of a counterbalance, like, hey man, take Monday off if you're feeling like it, or, just like make sure you're being, cool to yourself and working in a sustainable way.
That's good. I mean, because I recognized when he was, he was just kind of like sharing his update and sharing the way he looks at work. Like it reminded me of kind of me in the early days of Drip, where I think for a while there, I did get to the point where I don't know if I wouldn't say fully burned out, but like on the road to that, because I was shouldering a lot of the scaling stress and the kind of the buck stopped with me on technical stuff on a lot of fronts. And it took a really long time for me to finally let go of things that I probably could have let go earlier if I had just been more like, I partially blame myself for being unwilling to let go really, really crucial parts. Like, I would gladly delegate things that were not so mission critical, but then like found that I kind of just left myself with a lot of like really, really mission critical things where it's like, well, it's okay. Right. I'll look after that part. And it's like, really what I should have been doing is parceling those out at an even rate, so that, or even prioritizing the mission critical stuff. It's like, let's start to get everyone up to speed on these parts of the application as soon as possible, because these are the riskiest parts. These are the parts that I need more redundancy on, and we can all kind of share this other stuff that's not so mission critical,
Yeah. That sounds like a supernatural impulse that you have to fight against, or like have to see it and experience it yourself and then realize that you had kind of messed it up.
Yeah.
I go through a little bit of that with just like development, basically, where it's like, but I know so much about how to write code, and like if I stop paying attention to the code writing, then maybe the tuple code won't be as good as it could be. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to have to step away from that eventually. So, and there will be other parts like that too, I'm sure. But it's good to be reminded of other people's experience. And be like, heads up, this is probably an area where you will predictably fail to behave totally rationally. So watch out for it.
Yeah. It's like, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel like, well, I don't know, that part's too important. Like, Spencer, maybe you should just like still keep a tight rein on that one. And it's like, no, you should be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and like, nope, let's get this person shipping code in this area. And yeah, something may go wrong, but like, we can't afford to not let this be an area where we have redundancy.
Totally. Yep. Definitely. I got a couple more things.
Yeah. Go
You
for
got
it.
some time? You want to talk about them?
I got some time. Yeah.
Okay. So two more things. One is I'm working on getting us a pen test. So I've been doing for Tuple a bunch of enterprise sales. And then for the pen test, I'm sort of like the enterprise sales customer. And so I've gotten to go through a couple other companies' sales processes. And I'm not that impressed. And in some cases, I'm pretty anti-impressed. And it's interesting to see. It's like these are like well-regarded, referred by smart people who say good things about them companies. And then like I see them making what feel like just like straight up mistakes and like kind of doing things that turn me off and just being like, wow, like what? I feel like the more I learn about business and the more businesses I learn about, the more I'm like, there are a lot of suboptimal things happening in the the world of business. One of these people asked me onto a sales call and I was like, okay, great, fine, I'll do a call. Like I prefer to do a written communication if we can to save myself the time, but fine, let's do the call. I didn't push back on it. And then we do a call and like it's a 30-minute call and the first 10 minutes is just this person talking about their company. And I was like, all right, I'm like, I want to hear some of that, but like, it seems like a lot to start with. And then asked me some questions about us and then was like, and like some questions about the app and who we are and what we want. And then was like, all right, great. I'm going to send you over a questionnaire to fill out about your company and the application. And I was like, okay, that doesn't sound like a thing I want to do, but fine. And then he sends it over and it's some of the same questions we just talked about. And it was like, you want me to take notes from our call for you? Is that what this is? And it was just like, this just feels clearly wrong. Like this clearly can't be optimal, right? Like, I don't think I'm just crazy here.
Right. It's like, I understand if they're trying to put maybe like a strong filter up in place. Like, let's make sure that this is actually a serious prospect before we hand them off to our really good salespeople or whatever. But like, seems like you should be trying to get to that as quickly as possible, and maybe just like charge you some money up front or something to talk to them, and then send you right to the person who's not going to waste your time. You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure the person I was talking to was the co-founder. So like, it wasn't like this wasn't like a qualification call.
Wow. Okay.
It felt literally just like I just wasted half an hour with you, and now I have homework to do that duplicates the thing I already did. And it was just like deeply kind of unimpressive. So I don't know. I guess people like to like have this thing like no one knows what they're doing. Everyone, like all companies are messed up, and it's like I don't think no one knows what they're doing, but I do think that like there's a lot of slop. I guess there's a lot of like inefficiency and not greatness out in the world there, even in surprising places.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of success you can attribute to maybe like 10 to 20% of what you put into it, and the rest just kind of just happens. So like a lot of this is like success despite how crappy your sales process looks like or something, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, clearly you can be successful despite having lots of issues and doing things suboptimally. But it's just interesting to have that point kind of hammered home and like be like, you're a successful company and this is your sales process? Okay. So eventually we're going to have a pen test and it's going to be, it's going to be good. Despite this.
I wonder what about a pen test makes it like the type of thing that you have to do an intense sales process about? Is that just how these services are sold?
Yeah, it seems to be. Basically everyone I've talked to actually like wants to do a call with me, and then they want me to fill out a bunch of stuff for them. And then they hit me with a proposal for, many tens of thousands of dollars.
But I guess it is a pretty custom thing. Like they have to kind of know, they have to figure out what the attack vectors could be for your particular setup or something, and then do it. Like,
totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Our situation is kind of weird. So like, it's not really a web app, so you can't just be like, here's the web app assessment cost. It's like, okay, we do need to kind of know what's going on here. I don't know how much I want to bitch about this. One last thing. I got an invoice from another company, which just had stuff on it that would like screamed out like, we put this on here to see if you'll accept it. This was an invoice for more than $40,000 for the pen test. And on the invoice, it has a $2,000 project management fee. And it's just like, that is clearly like, what is that? Like, if I'm paying you $40,000 for a consulting engagement and you break out project management, it's like, oh, and by the way, we have like, here's this thing. Like it just felt so lame.
Yeah.
There were like 2 or 3 line items that were just like that. It's like, here's a couple grand in whatever because it looks small compared to the other things, and you'll probably just say yes. And like, I pushed back on them, and they removed them. And I was like, well, that doesn't make me feel that good either. Like, you were just like willing to kind of screw me for this if I just was a sucker. And so great, the price is lower, but now, like, I don't know, now I don't like you.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a different world. Like, I mean, I think that's where a lot of money is made in these types of deals. It's like just managing to find people at different points who either don't care. Like, you happen to be a person who, you're a co-founder of the company, and yes, you really actually care about where your money goes. But I bet a lot of times it's like they're dealing with someone who's just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, everyone puts this pork on these invoices, and it's just how the game is played, or maybe they're just not paying any attention. And yeah, somebody said to me like, yeah, if you were Twitter, you probably just would have said 40 grand, that's nothing, whatever, and then just like signed it. But yeah, it's our money in a way that it's not for larger companies. So I guess they were just miscalibrated. I have to imagine on the whole that's a profitable thing to do. It's just, yeah, add some crap in there, but it's a bit of a turnoff personally. Yeah, just as much crap as you can to not fully turn off everybody and thus harm all your sales efforts.
Yes. And yeah, all right. Well, that was kind of a wine fest. So, and my second thing was kind of a wine as well. So I'm gonna cut that. That's okay. Enough. It's enough negativity for the podcast.
All right. All right. That's good.
So yeah, let's reset. Which is, I'm super psyched to be doing work with you. It's super awesome. I like what you're doing, and I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think, we're supposed to do gratitude, right? And
yeah,
I think that's going to be my gratitude item, honestly, is like this little project we're doing. Like, I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful to get to like flex some of my skills on a project and make some money doing it. You know, I know there's a lot of people right now who are in much less fortunate positions. So I'm super thankful for that.
Yeah. I mean, mine is similar, which is that I'm glad that the business is reaching a point where we can do this. Because for the longest time, it was just the 3 of us, and that was basically what there was. And now we have the resources to expand this and like make the company better, make the product better. Hopefully there's a virtuous cycle that will happen there too. And I just feel so lucky that like we can afford to bring on awesome people and have their awesomeness imparted into us. And that's great. So #blessed.
Yeah, very nice.
Cool. All right, should we wrap it?
Let's wrap it.
Notes of the show.
Notes of the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.